Stitches. Stitches the clown. Guess I should bring up our fucking thing quick. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
This is 62, right?
I don't know.
Yes, it is. All right. All right, I'm gonna start this. Welcome to episode. What's 62 in Spanish, Corey?
Uh, Peso de Cinco.
I don't think that's right, but this is episode 62 of the podcast Terror, a production of the Galactic Network. This is a podcast about all things scary. I am your host, Matt Stein. With me, as always, is Corey. I don't know.
I
I'll
don't
be
speak
nice
no
to you.
fucking Spanish, Scott.
Speak no fucking Spanish. I don't speak no fucking Españoles.
I've only lived in California for half my life, and I work with many people who speak fluent Spanish, and none of it has rubbed off on me at all.
But are you on like the north, or are you in the Spanish side or the not so Spanish side?
I don't know that there's a non-Spanish side of California
Okay.
at this point, which I'm perfectly happy about. I like the idea of expanding my horizons. It's just that my horizons have a hard time expanding around me because I'm so fluffy.
What?
It's a fat joke. Let's just say that I wish I had been better at learning things outside of my limited purview, and I still hope to get there someday.
All right. I just keep bumping shit. I'm a mess. For more on this podcast, including show notes, content information, subscription links, you can go to gncast.com/pot. You can chat with us. On our Slack channel during our shows at gncast.com/sign up. And while you're there, you can subscribe to our newsletter as well. We're spoiler heavy, so if you haven't seen the movie Stitches, go watch it or don't. I don't really care. And then I swear a lot.
I swear with you.
That's true.
I swear in solidarity.
We swear a lot.
Soliswearity.
Good deal. Yeah. This has been a shitty week. I'm in a shitty mood, but I'll try and make the best of it. It's not Corey's fault. It has nothing to do with this podcast. It's entirely printer related. Corey works in IT, so he knows that the word printer is a dirty word.
It is just like glass up the butthole every time with a fucking printer. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just you hear the word and you're just like, thank you very much. I enjoy your rapeness.
Yeah, and we're upgrading to a new software that involves said printers and adding 4 printers and reconfiguring 6. Actually 8, but that's we're not here for printers. We're here to talk about horror. The one thing that still gives me joy. My miserable printer filled life.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Let's talk about some news. Oh, you brought this one. I don't care about The Walking Dead.
And a lot of these people probably don't, but they care about how it's corrupting their little children. So coming to us from ihor.com, Parents Television Council has slammed the Walking Dead premiere. They are pushing to remove AMC from cable bundles. This is, I don't know who these fucking people are. I assume they're just like the 1 Million Moms, which is just some guy in his basement who's on his knees praying to something that probably isn't even in any kind of religious text at all. And they've decided that, The Walking Dead, a show about zombies that have taken over the earth and eat people's faces off, is too scary for their little precious baby kids. And so we shouldn't have it anymore. I'm so sad. Fuck you and your ideas of like, if your kids are watching The Walking fucking Dead, you already have a bigger problem. You don't know how to raise your children.
Yeah. No, that's really very true. So,
I mean, I don't want to lie and say that The Walking Dead isn't a hard watch. And this episode in particular, my wife watched it. My wife suddenly got back into the show, and I'm like, enjoy, because I ain't gonna fucking be there for it. I was done with it a couple seasons ago, but we both collectively dropped out, I think, before last season.
right.
And she caught up on Netflix. She got all into it again, and she watched this, and she came walking into the bedroom after, I guess, like the second major death of the episode, and she's just like, I couldn't keep watching. I had to stop. It was really hard to watch this episode.
Why? Because she liked the characters, or what? It was
Maybe
gruesome.
partly because she liked the characters, but because it was really, I mean, it was not an easy watch because of how the characters were taken out. It's not like just, oh, somebody got bit and they had to be put down, or somebody got shot. This was very graphic. They were going for a very graphic scene. This is a power play by this character, Negan, to get Rick and his people to be sort of enslaved to him.
Yeah.
And everything he was doing was to kind of show, no matter what you do, I'm the one who's in charge, and I'm showing you I'm in charge by killing your people in front of you. And anytime you hesitate, there goes another one, and I won't hesitate. And this is straight out of the comics, so it's not like the stuff was unexpected if you're a reader of the comics, but it's still not. And I mean, it's weird because everybody who waited for this episode all summer and complained that they didn't show at the end of last season, they get all the way up to the edge and then they don't tell you who he killed. They get to this, and now it's like there are some people reacting to it like it's a snuff film.
Right.
And AMC isn't doing themselves any favors on that point because they're releasing footage of some of the different people Negan could have killed, because they filmed all of them getting killed, so that if anybody leaked stuff, they have footage of everybody being beaten in the head with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. So some of that stuff is leaking out of different characters. So it's like there isn't even the emotional capacity of like dealing with this character's death beyond just watching it happen. You're seeing things coming out online of this, and yeah, it's kind of like, oh, well, I just want to see how this person would have died. Oh, same way. Want to see how this person would have died. Oh, same way. If you're a person who enjoys that, good for you. But if you're a person who doesn't enjoy that, or thinks that subject matter is maybe a little bit too much for you or your children, don't watch the fucking show.
That's really, I mean, this is America. You have the option to do or not do pretty much whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean?
In a lot of ways. I mean, there's some
obviously within the confines of the law, but I don't like The Walking Dead. Therefore, I choose to not watch it. I don't give a shit.
That's exactly it.
I just don't watch it.
I never want to say that it's a bad show. It certainly got to be a show that I was no longer interested in.
Yeah.
And some of it was because that it was just about waiting to see characters die on screen. And I don't really enjoy that feeling. I need to see something where it's like we're moving to something. I like a little bit of hope interspersed here and there, and it just becomes so bleak, especially under the current showrunner, Scott Gimple, which is fine because it's selling. The show got 17 million viewers on Sunday night. It's doing great. So it's okay to have a show that's not pleasing me, but I just turned it off. You know, that it's not hard.
I watched the first season. It was not for me. And I just never went back. And people are like, well, how can you not like it? You like horror movies. How can you not like it? I don't know, man. It's not for me.
I mean,
I don't, hop on your ass and ask you why you don't like cartoons. I love cartoons.
I fucking love Adventures of Gumball. Great show.
Yeah. It's not everything's for everybody.
But last week with Derek, we talked a little bit about that Wolf Creek series. Now, Wolf Creek was also, for me, a hard movie to watch. And for some reason, we still felt compelled to go ahead and watch the first couple episodes
of
the TV series. It's solid. I mean, it's different. It's definitely not at the level of violence that it was in the movie, but it is dark and it is bleak and it is not very happy in the first episode. The second episode seems to vary between the guy who's the killer and some of the things that he's doing, and the girl who is the survivor from the first episode and how she's trying to get to track him down. So it breaks it up a little bit better. But in this case, I think it's a perfectly solid show. It's better than I probably would have expected from it. I'm enjoying it more than I expected from it, maybe is what I meant to say. And again, my wife was excited watching it. She's like, oh, we need to watch the next episode now. And we just haven't gotten back to it after those two, but I think it's only like 6 episodes for this season.
Yeah,
but
I think it's 6. I
Yeah,
I do really want to watch it, but there's like I still have the entire first season of Damien to watch. The first 5 episodes of The Exorcist.
right.
I got a lot of shit to watch.
There's a lot going on, and I'm kind of at a point where I'm so burnt out on the other shows that I'm watching that I'm making more room for this stuff. But there's still, it's just like, okay, do I need to watch the CW shows right now, or can I just step back from for a little while? And November, I'm planning on spending more of my time writing for NaNoWriMo, and
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to be
that's coming up
watching
for you.
very limited amount of TV, hopefully, if I do it right. And so a lot of these things are going to build up in my DVR, and it's how much do I want to come back to on December 1st of this, or
Right.
do I just want to say fuck it and cleanse?
Just a big old juice cleanse.
I'm just gonna go Negan and take a baseball bat to my TiVo, and
Well, don't do that.
I don't know, probably not.
You can actually do whatever you want. I don't really care. This is America.
This is America. But yeah, so people who are upset about The Walking Dead, maybe you should have read the description a little bit before you tuned in, or if you, I'm guessing, didn't tune in at all and are just in an uproar because you want to be in an uproar about shit. Fuck you in the dead ear. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you in the dead ear you wrote in on.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next story. It's going to be the Friday the 13th reboot has been in the news quite a bit lately. They've already announced that the movie will be coming out Friday the 13th of October 2017, which is quite fitting, quite exciting. My nipples are hard. But it appears that the producers of the Purge movies or the Purge movie, one of them, I'm not sure which one exactly, and then the recent movie Ouija that just came out, are looking to do the reboot, which I think it's weird. We just had a reboot not that long ago, and
Yeah, and I mean, first of all, wasn't this movie supposed to come out this year and then it got pushed back? Like I thought that they were really trying to
yes.
get it out, yeah, in 2016, and now they've moved it. Now, these guys do seem really excited about it, not only because it's the 13th Friday the 13th movie in official
Oh, I
accounting,
didn't even know about that.
but they're also saying they've done plenty of slasher movies, and what excites them about this one is that their characters aren't just meat for Jason to butcher. These are real characters, which will hopefully make the bond with the audience that much stronger because you really care about the people in this film. I think that's great, but I almost think that if you're going to do Friday the 13th, the expectation Friday 13th is that most of the characters are fodder for Jason.
So
I'm
they're
not saying
trying
you
to
can't
like
reinvent the wheel on Jason movies, but maybe it's one of the things where you don't have to.
they're trying to like give Jason depth.
I don't know that they're
I
trying to
don't know if
give
I like
Jason
that.
depth, but they're trying to give,
Well, they're trying to give the movie depth.
yeah, they're trying to do Friday the 13th with more character.
Little
And I
Johnny
mean,
Depth.
we joked a little bit about Jason X last week with Derek, who's obviously knows Kane Hodder, about the fact that that movie was not really well received. But I love that movie because the characters are so weird and silly, and some of them are very different from what you'd see in the other films.
Yeah.
Versus, Jason Takes Manhattan, where some guy comes up and tries to punch Jason, or just in general, some of the films have been really shitty. But if you go back to the beginning and you see, at least the final girls are usually reasonably interesting. And when you get into Freddy versus Jason, I think that there were some characters that had more depth than that too, and characters that you kind of felt for, and when they died, it had a little bit more of an impact. I don't know what changes they need to make to a Friday the 13th movie. They just have to make it good, and they have to explore the camp side of it. And I don't just mean that because Crystal Lake, but I mean there is a campiness to the Jason movies, but there's also a lot of beloved themes to these films that just it's worked for this long. So don't think too hard about it.
Yes, I agree. I'm curious what they're trying to get out of it by doing that. I'm also hoping that they don't really fuck this up because the last one was not very good.
Yeah, and I mean, it's doing the movie as a redo. I don't think anybody wants to see the same things over again. Although a lot of the kills were different, but
That's true.
it's
But
like
if that's
we're
all,
getting it
if you're
again.
just watching if you're just watching a Friday the 13th movie to see how he can kill in a different way, then mm,
I mean,
seems
it's not
dumb.
Gremlins in space versus Hitler.
Nope. What else did we add to that? Gremlins in space versus Hitler and Nazi Germany.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck else we did.
We have to get on that soon.
I agree. Jack and Dan, you're not listening, but we got to start that.
Yeah.
Let's go to our next horror related. In case you weren't sure why you're here. God damn, I'm losing my fucking mind. There's a TV show called Horror Hunters coming out on the Shout Factory TV, which it sounds like they're taking what are the shows where they buy the storage lockers? American Junk Shit Buyers. One of those shows. They're taking that show and kind of bringing it with a horror aspect, and they're just buying horror shit.
Yeah, just concentrating on the horror memorabilia aspect of it. And there's been a couple of different things I've seen. There's like the weirdness. There was some show about people who had like a store full of weird, creepy knick-knack stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't always know what those shows are supposed to be. Like the Comic Book Men on AMC, which is just a couple of asshole friends of Kevin Smith working in a comic store, which you would think I'd be into, except they're really assholes. And
assholes.
A lot of it is like, oh, here's this stuff that's cool, but then we have to put in some stupid plot on the side of like, we're gonna go hunt the Jersey Devil for no fucking reason, or we're gonna do these other things, and it just like, here's where it goes completely scripted. Not to mention, oh, randomly Stan Lee's gonna show up in my store. I expect that that's probably gonna be the same thing as what this is.
I'm
that,
sure.
Like, yeah, here's some famous horror actor or producer or something who's going to wander in with some great memorabilia from their film to remind you, hey, their film's going to come out on Blu-ray this week. You should buy that too. On the other hand, if you have a love for the genre and you have a love for this kind of memorabilia, you may see some cool shit on there.
That's true.
I just want to see the stores have like an online presence, so when I see something like that shows up in them, even though I'm poor, that I can go online and maybe buy that. You know, I don't have to fucking fly to New Jersey to do it.
You mean you don't want to fly to New Jersey?
I don't want to do anything to New Jersey.
That is true. I do want to go to 612 Wharf Avenue, though. I'm kidding. It's an industrial park. If you ever watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Is that where they meet the MCP pants?
Yep. 612 Wharf Avenue. Go ahead and get into our last news story, and then we'll get to talk about this shit ass movie. And coincidentally enough, this is a fucking clown story. Thanks. Target has pulled clown masks from their Halloween section, which is really no surprise. Unless you've been living underneath a rock, you know that assholes everywhere are getting out their clown costumes and doing dumb shit in public. Getting arrested.
Fucking it up for everybody.
Leaving their fucking children in a car so that they can be assholes.
Yeah, what was that about? Like, oh, we're gonna go out, we're gonna leave our kid at home, and we're just gonna go fuck with people dressed as clowns and hope our
you know where that was, right?
No, but
that was literally like 10 miles, not even 10 minutes south of me.
With all the nice things you said about your next door neighbor, I assumed it was just them.
Fucking Maryland. Probably staring at me through her window.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about there's censorship, which is forcing stores to remove clown masks and stuff, which I could honestly see happening at this point. Or there's self control of like, we don't want to sell these things because we're trying to protect our customers. And yes, it's too bad that if you came to Target expecting to get a clown mask, we're not going to have it for you, but that is how we're conducting our business. So this isn't really censorship so much, but it does suck that there are people who have made it so that you can't. One of the staples of Halloween is clowns, and scary clowns at that. It's too bad that that's been dicked over by people who are doing stupid shit. And I'm just grateful that people haven't been getting killed doing it yet, but I still kind of expect that's going to happen.
I agree.
Somebody's going to wear clown makeup in the wrong place. It's like those assholes who go and do videos on YouTube, Not us. We're different kind of assholes on YouTube.
Yep.
That like go and they try to start shit just to show off like how people are going to react, and then
Fucking
you go.
people.
But if someone shoots you, like that's your last show, right? And I don't think YouTube's even
Yeah.
going to let you have advertising on that.
Nope. None whatsoever. None advertising for you because you're a dumbass. With that being said, let's talk
No word
about
on
the
if they're
movie.
banning mime makeup.
No, never. Mime is classic. Let's talk about Stitches, which, God dang it. I hate how much effort I went through to watch this movie. um,
Putting on Netflix is so difficult.
well, I was playing Battlefield 1 and yeah, it was just this thing and anyways, I watched it. Um so this is a movie about a clown named Stitches. I don't remember his full name. I also don't care enough to remember his full name. I'm actually gonna look it up. I'm stalling right now to find out.
Are you talking about the actor or the guy who the
No, his
clown was real
his
name?
name is something Stitches something.
Yeah, I don't know
No,
if that's even listed.
even yeah, I remember on his gravestone it said. Anyways, Stitches the clown goes to a children's birthday party. The children treat him like shit. They all do something, which later was me foreshadowing. But basically, the mom puts a huge ass butcher knife in the dishwasher, leaves the dishwasher open. The kid ties Stitch's shoelaces together. Stitches, they make him trip. He falls. He goes face first into the butcher knife, goes through his head. Blah 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 blah. 6 years later, all the kids are in high school. You have like a reintroducing of all the characters because they're now older and how they're fucked up now. And then miraculously, they have a party. So you find out that once a clown starts a party, he cannot stop until he finishes the party. So because he never finished the party, he comes back from the dead after some crazy fucking voodoo clown shit. And basically goes to the house where all the kids are back together and starts killing them one by one in the vein of how they fucked with him. And there's flashbacks to make sure that you know. And he also kills a cat. And that was kind of the point where I was like, this movie is fucking dumb.
The cat thing was a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Because was the cat at the original party?
I don't think so.
I think he went after the cat because the cat kept fucking with his nose. That's going around searching for people. Like he takes off his clown nose and he throws it down the ground, and then it goes bouncing around through the house to find the kids that he's looking for. So one thing about this is that there were people that I expected to die in this that didn't, like the principal of the school, who was just an outright asshole that looks like a Führer type character. There were just plenty of people that were around at the party that Stitches didn't go after. His whole mentality was killing the people, killing the kids who caused his death in the first place. One thing that you skipped over was he has an egg that has his clown face on it. Mm-hmm. That at the beginning, when he's humping some woman in her trailer, his trailer, I don't know. It was a trailer on the edge of a cliff.
That was my favorite part of the movie.
Of course it was.
Sorry. I liked when the horn got in between him and it went.
Right. But while that's going on, she finds this egg and she looks at it. He's like, "Oh yeah, if you're a clown, you have to have your face put on an egg for some reason." And then when he dies, a whole group of other clowns in his crypt like take the egg with his face and they put it up somewhere. And so the ending is we have to go find this egg with his face on it. Now I looked at that egg and I looked at some of the other eggs in the crypt. I could not tell you which one was his. There was no distinction. It's like it was haphazardly drawn by a 5-year-old on there. There's no way to look at it and know that this is the clown egg. But the kid goes through the effort of finding the exact one on the top shelf of this thing that he has to climb up on to break it. When he could have just broken all the eggs. Like, how hard would it be to just slam them all on the ground? They're fucking eggs in glass. That was a little outside of the realm, and I didn't understand what the egg thing represented from clowns anywhere else. On the other hand,
that's true. They never really explained that, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
But a lot of the clown stuff in this was very much like clowns, and felt in line with what that was trying to be. And it goes as far as doing balloon animals with somebody's intestines, using the air pump to pump up somebody's head, which might have been my favorite death.
Yeah, but it lasted too long.
It definitely went on for a while, and maybe that was also part of it too, is that some of them they were so into it. But the girl that he killed upstairs, who when he goes and throws her down on the bed, she kicks him in the throat, which I thought was awesome because it was
That
just
was cool.
so quick. But then when she gets up to start running away and he throws the umbrella at her and it pokes her eye out at the screen, which is pretty vivid. And then she fell down and the umbrella goes through the back of her head, comes out the front, opens, which is, yes, it's silly. It's a silly stylized death, but it worked in the context of this is a clown. He's not a good clown. He's not a particularly
that's true.
well-performing clown, but it's clown-like. When he's chasing them and they're on their bikes and he's chasing them on the little tricycle, and then they go uphill and he's trying to ride the tricycle uphill. And it's just like this thing of like, well, is he magic? Can he make this thing go super fast? Is he just going to keep chasing him? So
Yes.
sort of like the leprechaun did. But no, he doesn't. He starts to go up the hill and he just realizes I'm fucked in this case. And he just stands up and he picks up the tricycle and starts carrying it with him.
Yeah.
The humor in this was pretty good. And if it was all the film was like clown kills by an evil clown, that would be okay. But I like the kids in this.
I definitely would have banged a couple of the chicks.
They're some attractive teenage girls. Weirdo.
I mean, when you want to put it that way.
Not played by teenagers, but still. Yeah, there was, and again, like there was a point where one of the girls who was not at the initial party, Mary, is in a room with Richie, I think, and
I think so.
Yeah, and they're together and stuff, and this is a perfect like horror movie trope of, well, he's going to kill the both of them because they're together, they're having sex, or they're trying to, and then it keeps getting interrupted by Tom.
I liked that. I liked that they were all British too. It just worked.
Irish.
Just throwing it out there. Oh, they were Irish?
They were Irish.
Sorry, Daryl.
I liked the way that the kids acted, because if I had watched a movie just about these kids hanging out and a high school story about the crush that Tom has on Kate and all the stuff of their friends, I liked I can't remember if it's Bulger or Bulger, who was the gay one, who was very catty with Sarah, who was the total bitch character. Yes. Like, I loved the portrayals that these guys did of their characters. That, like we were just talking about the Friday the 13th movie, is I felt bad seeing some of these characters die.
I didn't.
No, I know you didn't.
All.
But there were it sticks to the code. Now, obviously, this movie has a lot of ode to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because the clown is killed and comes back for revenge and is haunting these kids. Although in this case, it's the kids' fault. It's not the parents' fault. Even though the mom basically like hires this clown, brings him in there, knows he's a dick, already has no faith in him, then leaves him alone with her children.
Shitty parenting.
Shitty parenting. But it even the drugs that Tom is taking to stop the anxiety of the memories of this clown, he's taking Hypnocil, which is what Nancy takes in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and I think in Dream Warriors, they were also taking Hypnocil.
Yes, so and in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, so they're trying to do a tribute to that in this. In that regard, I kind of respect it. If you're doing an homage to something, and certainly something as popular and well known as Nightmare on Elm Street, you have to do something to kind of make it your own. And they do. You know, even though the devil clown thing is not necessarily original.
Right.
I think they do a good job of it.
It's not really devil clown though. It's just resurrected clown.
Yeah, it's just clown back from the dead to get revenge.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was just not it was not a very good story. The kills were all kind of over the top towards the end. I was sick of them. I don't really remember the end. I know that they left it open for a sequel, and they're not going to make a sequel. So,
well, the end scene, and this is another scene that I watched it. I'm like, oh, Matt's going to like this.
Fucking of course,
because one of the other clowns that had been in the group that were, trying to essentially resurrect Stitches in the first place, even though it was years before.
right?
He is putting the egg back together, which is like, oh, of course, yeah. You piece the egg back together, and he's going to come back.
Yeah, he's getting blown by that weird chick.
Yeah, as he's doing it, a woman pops up from down beneath the view, and he's just like, shut up, and pushes her head back down. What was the movie that we watched where something like that happened? Was it Deathgasm?
Most likely.
Yeah, where every time, I don't know if it's something like Over the Seas where that's just like the common thing is like, hey, while we're doing this, I'm getting oral gratification from somebody. Because
I think they're just more open.
All the clowns are depraved in this is, I guess, what we find out.
Yeah,
they're all devil worshipping assholes. But that was so. Yeah, he puts the eggshell back together, and then it completely heals up, and so that is to imply that Stitches is going to return.
Which so far he hasn't. Thank God.
Yeah, this was from 2012.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make another one.
Yeah,
I don't think it did very well.
I don't know what it was supposed to do, but it was weird because, as I understand it, it was I'm
looking it up quick.
It took a lot of money to make this happen, and it was brought in. It was a combination of Ireland and Switzerland, I think, combined to do this.
I'm not sure, but let's play the guessing game. Guess what their budget was?
$200,000.
$2 million.
I knew something with the two.
Guess how much it got at the box office?
$47.
I mean, come on.
How much did the mom pay Stitches at the beginning of the movie? I guess that's what I should pay.
I don't even know. I don't think they pointed out, but
he said he wouldn't even go in until.
Yeah, no money, no funny.
Yep.
So, are you going to take a real guess here at the box office? This is about this is the culmination of my joy.
$150,000.
$63,000.
I mean,
sorry, Stitches.
How do you pitch this movie? It got a £600,000. I don't know what that symbol is. Grant from the Irish Film Board. I
don't even know. It's euros.
Euros. Okay, yeah. So something called the Irish Film Board, first of all, gives a grant to make this movie.
Hey, you never know.
That's a little weird, but yeah, it premiered in Dublin. I don't think that there was any plans on releasing it in the States. No. It's one of those things that just seems like it's made for Netflix. But as a horror movie that shows up on Netflix in your queue of like, hey, you like horror movies, you should check this out.
You like horrors? Sorry.
I don't think it was bad. I think it was stupid.
Yeah.
But it's an expected stupid. It's a movie about a killer clown.
Yes.
I think that it's, as far as those types of movies go, it's one of the more enjoyable ones that I've seen. I liked it a hell of a lot more than I like Eli Roth's Clown.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's not difficult to do, though. I shouldn't say that.
I mean, Roth's Clown, going into it, I gave it less credit than what I came out of it with, which is when they took him from looking like a clown to looking like more horrific monsters. And the fact that he went and seriously killed kids in it. I gave props for that, I think, when we did the review of it originally. But this is a movie that I would watch again because I think that the other characters are more enjoyable. And I think the clown was honestly funny. He's played by comedian Ross Noble. Now, I don't know anything about Ross's comedy in general, but in this, he just had that kind of funny, bad attitude, take no shit, but life is going to keep dealing you shit anyways.
Right.
Kind of life. And Yeah, him coming back and killing these kids, you kind of understand why. It's not that they deserve it because they were children, and I don't think it was their intent to actually murder him, but they were really mean to him, and it led up to his death. So, yeah, I kind of feel like I need to kill you little fuckers.
Yeah, yeah. It made sense, and if I wanted something, it kind of reminded me a lot of Dead Alive, but I like Dead Alive's delivery a whole lot more.
Yeah, Dead Alive is definitely a much more pronounced silliness to it. And
yes.
it's a better movie. It's
way better.
by Peter Jackson at the height of like he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. That's something different. But I think that this shows more of that mentality. I think it is in there with some of the other silly horror movies we watched recently, like Frighteners.
Yes.
I think it works in that kind of level. What did you think about the daydream in the class, which I think was also kind of an ode to the first Nightmare on Elm Street, but the payoff is completely different, where he pictures his teacher as a clown, and then his teacher comes over and rips
his balls off. Yeah. It was like if a lot of the weird shit that they came up with was like 10 seconds shorter, I would have liked it a lot more. I don't like when things are drawn out just to be drawn out.
That makes sense. And listening to that, I can see why your criticisms are there, and I get a little bit more.
Yeah,
because I laughed through most of this.
I mean, I laughed too. There was also a lot of what the fuck's happening. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can really say about it. I mean,
I have nothing. I was out of words 10 minutes ago.
The characters are pretty typical, but I liked the portrayal of those typical characters. Like if you're gonna have people that are just like, I fill this role, I'm the asshole friend who's always trying to get laid, I'm the asshole friend who's always trying to get high, or playing wingman for my friend so he can get laid. I'm your gay friend, I'm the girl next door that you lust after. And then the two bullies, the bully couple, which I think was actually pretty good, having them be a couple, because you could see where they were kids and then they get older and they stop being friendly with each other and they just go full scale. Like, I know we were friends when we were kids, but now we get to beat the shit out of you every day.
Yeah.
I think that everything that they did with them, while not surprising, was at least of a good quality. Everybody in this as actors were young,
pretty good.
Yeah, they did a good job all around. I like the scene where he gets home and his mom has left him a note saying that his birthday presents are around the corner, and he brings his bike over there, and he's like, the same shit bike that he already has, like she gets it for him again. But then it pays off later on because that's what he uses to help his girlfriend escape with him. I guess she could have rode on the handlebars. I guess he could have rode on the handlebars.
She could have rode in his lap.
Yeah, she seemed more together than he was.
That's true. You want to rate this?
Yeah, let's rate it.
All right. If you're unfamiliar with this, we're going to rate it on 3 categories from a 0 to 5 scale on rewatchability, story, and scariness. First of all, we're going to do rewatchability. Corey, since we have no guest, I want you to go first.
I'm going to say that the reason why I chose this movie in the first place is because my wife was watching it a few weeks ago, and I walked through, and I didn't know that it was about a murderous clown. I just thought she was watching something about Irish high school kids. And I thought it looked interesting. I was like, oh, and I stopped and I started paying attention a little bit more. And then somebody got killed. And I'm like, oh, well, this is not what I thought it was at all. But it makes sense that you're watching this.
Right.
I liked it. I would probably watch it again sometime. Not soon, but eventually. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I almost went 4.
I mean, to each his own. We had that conversation earlier. 0. I will never watch this movie again.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
no, all right.
This is America. Story 0 to 5.
Story is like we said, it's a blatant homage to Nightmare on Elm Street, so it's not like it's an original story at all. I'm gonna give it a 2 just because I think the execution of the homage is reasonably solid.
I agree. I'm going with the 2. I was surprised that we had the same number, but 2 all day. I keep forgetting that I have to tell you what's next. Scariness 0 to 5.
It was not scary. It was slightly gory, especially in some weird ways, like with ripping the genitalia off of the friend in class.
Yes, there's that.
And it wasn't even like a real scene. It was like, this is the guy is having a waking nightmare essentially about this, and this is what his head goes to, is that my teacher just turned into a clown and ripped my friend's dick off in front of me, and then my friend has to get up and chase his dick around the room. I think that's itself is like, you need some more therapy than just like, we accidentally murdered somebody when I was a child. But not scary. I do like that the death scenes were funny, so rating it off of more humor, I'll give it another 2.
I'm going to go with 0. I mean, it got a 2 on story, and that's all it's getting out of me.
That's fine. That's solid.
Yeah.
Your entire existence is based around a solid 2.
Thank you very much. I got nothing. You can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966. You can email us at pot@gncast.com, or you can leave us a message on the website. We want to hear from you. Tell us what you like about the show. What's your favorite part? What's your least favorite part? Do you think I should be more than a 2?
I think your wife does.
Probably. We were going into Target earlier, speaking of, and she said something. She was, no clown masks. And she's like, oh, I'm not getting any older. I'm like, that's for sure. And she just kind of looked at me and said, you're stuck with me. Anyways.
Whereas my wife posts pictures on the internet and my friends are like waiting for me to die. There's a line. There's like a line behind me. And I think most of them have weapons.
I'm in that line.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
my wife is very pretty.
I'm not saying my wife's not pretty. I think my wife is very attractive. I was giving her shit about getting old. Jesus, she always tells me I'm old. She turned 30. Time waits for no one. You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast of Terror. You can subscribe to this podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, any of your favorite podcatchers. You can leave us feedback on whichever one you like. She might kick in the door behind me and stab me. So if you see that, let me know.
At least throw a dog at you.
Jesus, she did already. I had to shoo it out while you were talking. All subscription options and links can be found at gncast.com/subscribe. And you can find us on Facebook under the Galactic Network. Corey, where can people find you?
You can find me at donutcomics.com, where I help blog and post some comics that I've written, and a lot of other comics that are by my friend Levi Krause, a very amazing artist. I also wrote a short story this week, or published it on my website. If you go to captaintemerity.com, you can find it there.
Awesome. You can follow me on the Twitters and the Instagrams at Matt the Lifeguard. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Podcast of Terror. We will talk to you guys next week. All right. I'm going to kill YouTube. Bye, YouTube.
Bye, guys. Thank you for coming.
Holy shit, we have 4 viewers? What the fuck?
Yeah, Ashley and Martin and Brandon.
Oh, I have not been paying any attention to it. Sorry.
I know.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
This one quick.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking worst.